She wasn't a preacher. She had no platform, no army, no church, not even a microphone. Just an apron and a prayer that split darkness. They tried to silence her. Poverty struck her. Fire nearly killed her. But hell made one mistake. It underestimated the power of a kneeling mother. This is the forgotten story of Susanna Wesley, the woman who started the Great Awakening. Epworth, England, winter 1711. The fire came without warning. The thatched roof hissed as flames devoured timber, and smoke bled through every crack. Children screamed, neighbors ran with buckets, and in the middle of the chaos, a lone woman dropped to her knees, lifting her face to the heavens. Lord, not the children, not the word. Let your will burn through me before it burns this house. That woman was Susanna Wesley. Her husband, Samuel, was nowhere in sight, imprisoned again over debts. Her many children were all she had, but she wasn't just praying to save a building. She was praying to preserve something eternal. Beneath the rubble lay the seeds of revival. Because what the enemy tried to burn down that day would one day burn across continents. Susanna Wesley bore 19 children. Only 10 survived infancy. She raised them in poverty. She taught them to read by age 5. She made them memorize entire books of the Bible, and in a culture that silenced women, she taught theology to boys and girls under a flickering candle in the cold. While her husband preached weak sermons to half-asleep congregations, Susanna began holding Bible studies in her kitchen. They started with her children, then a neighbor joined, then 5, then 200. Soon more came to her kitchen table than to her husband's official parish. But this wasn't rebellion. This was revival. What made her different? It was her prayer life. If this story has already started to stir your heart, comment below. Lord, use me to make a difference in my family, my friends, and my generation. And share this with someone who needs to be reminded that God uses ordinary people and even their limitations to accomplish unimaginable things. Every single day, Susanna would sit in the kitchen, pull her long apron over her head, a signal to the children that Mother is praying, and she would pour out her soul to God. Under that apron, she battled for every child. Under that apron, she whispered prophetic fire into their destinies, and the saints in heaven took notice. High above in the great cloud of witnesses, St. Paul stopped mid-psalm. She prays with the desperation of the persecuted, he murmured. Peter leaned over the balcony of eternity. No temple, no pulpit, no sword, but that woman. She is a general, said Mary Magdalene, eyes glistening, and the Lamb seated on his throne whispered, "Watch." The world thinks she is hidden. I call her fire. One night, Susanna wrote in her journal, "I am a woman who is not seen, but I have been heard in heaven." Her sons would later say they feared nothing in life except the silence that fell when their mother prayed. The enemy feared it too. Demons shrieked in frustration as her whispered prayers blocked their every advance. Generational curses shattered, addictions withered. The very air in the Wesley home seemed to thrum with anticipation. In that tiny kitchen, she cried out, "Give me not success, but souls. Give me not comfort, but calling. If my name is never known, let it be known in hell that Susanna Wesley prayed." Time passed. Her sons grew. One became a missionary to the unchurched, the other a preacher with a voice like thunder. John Wesley and Charles Wesley. Together, they would spark the Great Awakening, ignite the Methodist movement, and shake both England and America. They would write over 9,000 hymns, preach to millions, and confront kings and tyrants with nothing but Scripture. But behind every sermon, behind every soul saved, stood a woman who once knelt beneath an apron and said, "Thy will be done. Saints do not always ride horses. Some sit at kitchen tables. As Susanna lay dying, John knelt beside her. He asked, "Mother, was it worth it? The poverty, the pain, the prayers?" She smiled, eyes fixed on something he couldn't see. "Child," she whispered, "we have not yet begun to pray." In heaven, the scrolls were unrolled. One bore her name in gold: Susanna Wesley, intercessor, revivalist, general. And the king stood to his feet. This world does not need more famous preachers. It needs more faithful intercessors, women who pray like warriors, men who cry out like prophets, homes that become battlefields for heaven. Susanna Wesley never led a revival meeting, but her prayer closet split open the heavens. You don't need a pulpit. You need an apron. You don't need a stage. You need surrender, because one woman's prayer can still shake the earth. Subscribe for more stories of fire, faith, and the saints who still walk among us.